Pepita. We saw them with a few characters that were able to hit the enemies on the ground when they were knocked out to bring them back up so you can continue your combo. These are great, look, kind of transition moves that allow for greater combo. So we can continue moving in the right direction with the combo and creating bigger and bigger combos. I think that this would be a great idea, and I look forward to it in the future with any of these games like Star Ocean, where they use kind of like a battlefield and a one-on-one match, and or 1-on-8, but the 8 characters are supporting your main attack strategy, and I would hope to see it in the future. Another thing that I think should become a staple in the future is the backstories to planets. I mean, we have so many planets in Star Ocean, and they talk about so many, and being able to visit them and being able to, perhaps do missions in them would be great. This is a great opportunity for downloadable content to be used. DLC, I think, could be used for this to increase the Star Ocean universe. I mean, there's just so much in the Star Ocean universe that we can use, and I think that this um, particular series, like expansion packs for these other planets, would be a great idea. Perhaps missions to obtain items that have special powers, or perhaps some other type of move that we can use, or something along those lines that increase the gameplay. A universal save point. I like the save points. It kind of like the Wandering Dungeon, Cave of Trials. All of these things didn't have any save points, and they did it so it can increase the difficulty of it. And it was very difficult at times because you would have to deal with these huge monsters. Um, a universal save point throughout the game would be great, but there's still certain aspects of the game that shouldn't have it, like the dungeons, the large dungeons, at least the last dungeons, where it has been known to not have anything, because it does increase the difficulty of it. Star Ocean 2 had Go Home Frogs, or Jewels of the Frog, as they are known in some games, and those are great because you can use them, and you can just, although you're not finished with the dungeon, you can leave and at least save, and you don't have to spend 8 hours like in the Wandering Dungeon just to reach Ethereal Queen. And I beat Ethereal Queen 3 times in Star Ocean 4, so I had to go to that dungeon 3 separate times and 3 different difficulties, and I thought that it was just too much. I mean, the Wandering Dungeon is 8 hours of redundant puzzles that weren't that much fun. Um, but to actually complete the game as you would want to sometimes, that would be required. Um, the next thing would be the large crystal board. Now, large crystal boards, I love the Star Ocean 4 concept of the crystal board. Star Ocean 3 had the sidebar. Star Ocean 5 looks like it has a specific gauge, or like a sidebar as well that controls certain things. I like the crystal board though, because the crystal board, you can control what you want to increase. If you want to increase experience, you can have high experience, low full attainment, or high recovery, low full, etc., etc. And you kind of can mix however it is that you'd like. In Star Ocean 4, it looks like it's not like that. It looks like everything increases together. Not a fan of that specifically, because I guess the Star Ocean 4 board provides you more freedom in that aspect. Ambush was great in Star Ocean 4. I really enjoyed the fact that my experience multiplied whenever a new battle would happen as soon as I finished the battle. I thought it was a great idea, and I think that they should head in that direction as well. The seamless battles are perfect in Star Ocean 5. I thought that a lot better than I had imagined. In fact, I thought it was going to be like Zelda, and I was not ready to play the game like I would play Zelda. But thank God it isn't like Zelda. In fact, it is just like the other Star Oceans. It has everything that the Star Ocean needs, and I think it's a step in the right direction. Um, Another thing would be the 100 of every item. I mean, why is Star Ocean stuck in the 20 item limit? It should not be 20 items. It should be more. I mean, it's very, very, very imperative to have 100 items so you can go back. So you don't have to go back as often for new creations. You can have 100 of every item. You know, it adds to replay value for the perfectionist. I think it's a great idea. I don't know why they're stuck at 20, and they have been since the beginning. They need to, you know, increase that because, you know, it is important for the gamer to have as many items as possible during, you know, during the game. Um, Balanced item creation. What I mean by balance is if we look at the food or the chef, you see there's so much food all over the place, and you can make so many different things. But when it comes to crafting stuff, perhaps maybe not crafting like accessories because you can mix and match with the 8 slots in Star Ocean 3, the 4 slots in Star Ocean 4. The more the merrier as far as the slots are concerned. But smithery, all armor, you know, these are all things that are kind of left out. Armor, I don't know why it's so difficult to kind of customize it in Star Ocean 3. They could have done a better job and made it like the accessories, or excuse me, like the weapons. Accessories in Star Ocean 3 were not customizable, but they were in 4, and it was awesome in 4. It was my favorite because you can really make some really awesome accessories, and they have to make it so there's more variety. I mean, it became very easily attainable to get the tri-emblems and kind of like put them into one accessory. I would hope that they make it so it's just not so clear cut that this is the best and this is the way that it will always have to be because it's just so easy. And hopefully they make, you know, a competitive item towards the tri-emblems that increases maybe another factor or something like that. Um, the battle skill bonuses, the sounds, the dings, these are things that they should have not um, gotten rid of. And you know, the best place to find that would be in Star Ocean 2. You know, it kind of adds to that hype and that excitement when you're deep in battle and you're, you know, just pummeling and pummeling and pummeling. If you're fighting an Indalecio with his limiter off and you are just trying to make sure he does not escape, and you're doing a solo match in universe mode with his limiter off, those dings and sounds, like those are like your cheerleaders. Those are the cheerleaders of the of that match, because they are the ones that tell you that you're pummeling down that particular enemy, and you know, here you're doing a great job. It's when that sound stops that you're just kind of like, oh, okay, you gotta find out another strategy to get him to kind of, you know, cornered again. And you know, Star Ocean 3 didn't have it, Star Ocean 4 didn't have it, and I want to say that they should come back. The Star Spray is absolutely required. I loved it in Star Ocean 2. Star Ocean 3 had it with the defense. Star Ocean 2 also had it with the defense. But it's not as prominent as it was in Star Ocean 2. Star Ocean 2 really made it, you know, awesome because it just did so much damage, and it gave you those clings and clacks and dings that you would hear that told you that you were on the right path with those particular when you were hitting the enemy. Familiar in Star Ocean 2 was so good. It saved, you know, it saved God knows how many hours of having to go back, and you can just send an animal to go get your food. It was so awesome, and it was a great idea. I don't know why they took it away. They should have kept it, and they should have improved on it as opposed to taking it away. Um, Being able to stun lock, very important. A thunder flare, you saw it in Star Ocean 2 when you had to, you know, corner somebody, having tear gas, having Perseus doing parabola beam, all simultaneously to stun lock the particular enemy. Thunder flare did it in Star Ocean 3. More of that would be great because it kind of gives the edge to the player to be able to stun lock and to be able to lock the person or the enemy in place. Um, in battle character switch, Star Ocean 4 had it. I loved it so much. It was just so great. It had such a great it was such a great, relief to be able to change characters in the middle of the battle, as opposed to having to wait till the battle to end to switch, and switching equipment, switching all these things. These are all staples that need to stay within the game, and in the new particular upcoming stall oceans. I mean, these are things that are required. Fun City, we have it on all of them. They should continue with that. Enemy crystals was such a great idea. The fact that if you had to just continue to beat the same enemy over and over, it provided so much to the game, because it carried on over to your new games, and you're able to make these crystals very easily. And once you were able to make them, they increased your character by so much. It added so much value, and I recommend that they continue with that. Um, a combo breaker is something I would love to see. Combo breakers I think are required, especially for if in Star Ocean 2 there was a combo breaker, it would make solo universe runs a lot more competitive, because they can also stun, they can also combo break. I mean, they would have to allow the AI to do that with the enemies as well. But perhaps creating a system with making it difficult and all that other stuff would be a great idea. The treasure search skill with Limo I thought was great. It gave me that security that all of the treasures were already obtained. Stun attack in Star Ocean 3 was great. I leveled up my Nell to do stuns on everything, and it worked so well. I loved it, and in fact I still go and I'm playing Star Ocean 3 right now, and I love that setup with Whirlwind and her regular attack with stun, because there's some type of glitch there that allows it to always occur. And side quest through private actions. I mean, they have a private action system. The side quests would be great. They, creating side quests, like when you go and you first meet Celine and she sends you on a side quest. When you have to go find Opera, that was a side quest. A lot of these new private actions don't really tell you to go on a side quest. They kind of like tell you to do things, and that's not fun. Side quests are fun because you have to deal with enemies. You have to deal with particular, you know, particular you have to deal with like an actual run through a dungeon. It's not just getting someone 10 watermelons because they need to you know they're gonna have watermelon battle, like watermelon sea battle. I mean, the idea is to go and have fun with the game, and go through a dungeon, because dungeons in the game are fun as long as they have like all these little like snips and like tricks that you can do. That's going to be all that I'm going to talk about right now. I mean, I already have 30 minutes here talking about the things that I think should be stapled in all of the games. I really hope you all agree with me too. I mean, I think that that it's important to have these videos, and hopefully just like because I'm sure if the right marketing, the right developer will go through these videos and look at what the fans have to say. And I'm sure they know what the fans have to say, but these videos, I'm sure, are part of that. And you all have a great evening. That'll be all for tonight. If you have anything else you'd like to add, feel free to add. I still have a few honorable mentions, and I'm gonna say them before my camera just stops recording me. Because these are important as well, but not things that I would necessarily think had to be staples. And that's the MPKO from Star Ocean 3, Large Party. They're doing that now. Logical Dungeons, and what I mean by that is Wandering Dungeon-esque, and staying away from that. Warp Within Dungeons would have been nice, perhaps, that way we don't have to. That was in Star Ocean 2. We didn't have to go to the entire dungeon. You just warp to the new dungeon. Aerial combos. A cutie patootie character, like the cute little characters, the ones with all the, Limo and, Lilia, they're the cutie patootie characters. Uber Armor, which I think should be a staple, actually. I already spoke about that. An arena is a staple, of course. The Fury system was pretty good. I liked it. You know, kind of controlled the amount of damage, the amount of moves you can use. Although I do think that CP, increasing CP like they did in Starship 4 was a great idea, since it allowed for the character to evolve. It allowed the character to kind of evolve the amount of damage or amount of different move sets they can use. Other things that I wrote down here, I think that's it. I mean, there was, these are all things that I thought would be, would be nice to have as well. Y'all have a great night, and or a great day, or whatever time zone you're in, and good night.